Alright, what's going on, folks? I'm in the middle of a long drive, starting it from the truck again. But I am doing something that is definitely adventurous, possibly foolish. But I am driving all the way down to my lease overnight. Several hours down there. I'm between Brownwood and Comanche right now, so I'm about at the halfway point. But my goal is to get down there, get set up. Just saw a deer right there on the side of the road. Get set up, get a deer or two this morning, depending on what I see. Clean them, pack up, and head all the way back to Dallas within 24 hours. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a sprint, but I'm going to see if I can do it. So the last time I was on in Teniente, that was a drawn hunt and it was archery only. Even though it was in gun season, it was archery only. So now I'm going down to my own lease. I'm pulling out the 270. So I'm pulling out the rifle. I brought my bow as well. I'd love to have an opportunity first thing in the morning at the bow stand, but it all depends on the wind. Because the last time I was there, I had a due south wind. Southeast is a little better for that spot, but with the due south wind, they were kind of cutting between. They were going further downwind of me and cutting between my bow stand and rifle stand. So if that's the case, I'm probably just gonna back up a little bit and go to my rifle spot. But if the bow spot looks good and the wind's good, I'll start there. So got several more hours of driving before I get a chance at that. So wish me safe travels and wish me luck when I get there. Well, just got out here as I suspected. Very strong wind. Due south, almost southwest, so not good for the bow blind. So I'm gonna go ahead and get in the rifle spot. It's a perfect wind for that. Should make the hunt a little easier if something comes out, but don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna head there right now. Well, that was quick. My little personal meat crisis is now over. Or at least pushed out a little further. Got in the stand at, I don't know, 6:20, something like that. Sunrise was at 7:12, so legal was at 6:42. 6:52, shot a doe. There were two little does that were in there, in the pen with the feeder immediately. Just young, stupid ones. And then one doe that was running all over the place, just trying to scent check everything. And I think that may have been the one I wounded during archery season, or one that was at least notably smarter than the others. So pretty sure that's the one I shot, because the other two were off on the right side. It was just barely into legal, so I didn't really have good camera light. But it's a doe. It's not like some epic adventure hunt. It's a doe from a blind with a rifle. But I'm walking the wrong way right now because she dropped right in the fence. So I'm gonna go ahead and go get the truck. Just make one trip out of it rather than two. Because it happened so early, I think I can go out to that open pipeline, see if anything else is out there. Honestly, I could have shot about 4 or 5 minutes earlier, but all these cows making it difficult on me. I wanted to make sure they cleared out. I weren't right behind her when I shot, so I had my scope on her for a while, just waiting for the cows, but she's down right here. The deer down here aren't real big until they get real old. So this is actually a pretty average sized doe. She doesn't look that big, but that's probably 2.5-year-old doe. So very normal sized deer. Hornady ELDX right to the heart. Obviously she didn't even take a step, she just plopped down right there. So very good bullet in my little hand loads. sitting in this open spot where I can actually glass quite a bit. There's a doe down there at like 680, which not an ethical shot to shoot that far on a little whitetail doe. On a target, yeah, I'd try it, but I don't even have dope for that with this gun. So if she's out there, probably more are gonna come out. But I'm gonna just slowly sneak up, see if I can get a little bit closer.
And by sneak a little closer, of course I mean cut through the trees and make a half-mile loop around to be on the far downwind side of this deer, ready for any more that may come out. The fog rolled in a little bit more and it was equally eerie and beautiful. This doe seemed to be vaguely aware of my presence, probably like that feeling when you know someone's just watching you. But I had good camo on and was holding still, so she could never really pick me out. She kept looking in my direction, but could never see a human there. So she would stare, and then go back to feeding, and I noticed in the background, more deer gradually started to work their way in. This doe and the others that were coming in were moving about quickly. I think they were browsing among these yellow flowers, looking for any that still had delicious buds on the top. As I've watched more and more deer throughout my life, I've realized I've gotten much better at reading their body language. This doe was hungry, perusing through the yellow flowers, looking for any morsel of food that remained, but also a little bit anxious, constantly on the lookout for predators, but also looking for other deer that surely should be in the area. At this point, I myself was getting nervous as to whether any other deer would show up, so I prepared to shoot this doe. And just about a minute later, the deer that had been holding back in the woods poured out into the open. They were all small does and fawns. As they moved about and quickly traded places, it was kind of hard to keep track of which one was which and which one was the biggest. Clearly at least 2, maybe 3 were fawns. One looked like a 1.5-year-old doe and the other may have been a 2.5-year-old doe. Since I was meat hunting, either doe would be fine.
Alright, got a group of does at about 310 yards.
I ranged the deer and realized I could use my 300-yard dope. I also held just a little bit of wind, just because the wind was picking up. You can probably hear it in the audio. It was getting very windy out in the open. But at 300 yards, you don't need to hold a significant amount of wind, just a little bit. I was going to go for the adult doe on the far right. I waited for an opportunity and I dialed my elevation accordingly. This is probably as good as it was gonna get. Here we go. I heard and saw the impact of the bullet on the deer. It looked like the whole body moved, so it was hard to tell the exact location of the hit. Let's watch it again. Hit looks to be center mass, back of the lungs, maybe into the liver. Well, I just took a 310-yard shot on that doe, and I heard a loud pop, which usually means lungs. It might have been guts, but usually that big pop sound means lungs. And I saw the deer kind of dip down on the front legs and then hobble off. So it didn't drop immediately, but it looked like a good hit. So I'm gonna very slowly work that way. I think she probably just ran into those trees and then bedded down. So I'm just gonna give her some time. All right, so I was way back down there, just on this side of the road, up those trees. And right around here, I put my tripod down. She was standing right around here. I got out, started looking for blood, and there she is, right there. She went like 30 yards and piled up. So hopefully that means a long shot. Let's go check it out. Right in the lungs. Again, the deer aren't huge down here, so that's very normal for a whitetail down here. But 310 yards, that's my longest shot or longest kill ever. All right, I left my tripod right here. I'm just gonna go bring the truck all the way down this pipeline. And that other one's been sitting in the bed of my truck for a couple hours, and it's warm. It's not blisteringly hot, but it's 60 something degrees out here, maybe 70 even. Probably 60. So about time I get on that other one. But I went from very frustrating bow hunting where I just wasn't having opportunities to 2 does down in a couple hours, both with my hand loads, which is cool. Also, some people use zip ties or tape for their tags. I use a piece of wire because you can just basically just jab it right through the air. All right, tagged and ready to go. Obviously, these aren't huge deer, and this wasn't the most challenging hunt, but I really like eating venison, so I'm excited to have some meat back in the cooler. Alrighty, I've got this deer cut up, all quartered, and the back straps and some of the trimmings in those coolers. I've got the heads with me as well. You're required to actually keep the head with you till you get home for proof of sex per Texas law. So, got that all set. It was a very short but very productive trip. I'm gonna go fill the feeder on my way out and then head back home. It'll be a long drive, but man, it was worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, stay safe, be free, and never stop seeking adventure.